Hey y'all, I'm Carolina Tony. Today the road brings me to Blue Ridge, Georgia. Also, I'm on the edge of Cheraw, Georgia, and we are at the Sasquatch Museum and Research Center. These people here, they do a lot of research looking for the Bigfoot, the Sasquatch, the Yeti, and all those huge unknown creatures that lurk in the forest. We're going to purchase a ticket and go inside and learn a little bit about Sasquatch. We'll get started right after this station identification. All right, well, we are going to go in already. I am bombarded with all kind of Sasquatch hunting gear, Yeti gear. Let's go in and get our ticket. We are in the Expedition Bigfoot Museum, and here is all the things that the explorers used to seek out the Bigfoot. We're going to learn a whole lot.
Your journey begins in
Noel Holmes and his son Nathan discovered a line of tracks in November 2004 at the lower end of Mercer Bayou. He cast his track footprint. Good eye, Noel. Here's some more cast footprint. A tranquilizer gun. The Bigfoot is so elusive, though. Nobody has ever been able to capture one. Another cast footprint. He knows, but he ain't saying nothing. This is the remains of a helicopter that crashed in the Chattahoochee Forest. This is something that was found. It's a 36-inch specimen. When they found it, it was still warm, found on a logging road with steam coming out of it. This is a Bigfoot or Sasquatch poop. Now, that Sasquatch, he should be proud. That thing is huge. This is all part of their laboratory where they check out specimens, little samples of hair and everything. This is depicting a Native American. Say Native American tribes had performed ritual dances in handmade Sasquatch costumes for hundreds of years, traditionally made from bear skins and painted with ceremonial masks. Each tribe had their own name for these creatures. Here's a knuckle print that was cast in 1982 and purported this is Sasquatch hair. The Indians for hundreds and hundreds of years have all had legends of Sasquatch or Bigfoot. Tribes from all over the continent, and all of them are very similar. Newspaper clippings, they all tell about Sasquatch, Bigfoot. Some a little different than others, but all the general same thing. There's got to be something to it. Just because you've never seen one doesn't mean there's not one. An artist's rendering of a rock that is on the Tool River Indian Reservation. They think it's over 1,000 years old. This is the actual size of it on that rock. You can see compared to my hand. It's pretty big. Another, a cripplefoot, said he was perhaps limping. All sorts of copies of newspapers where people have said over the years that they have found Bigfoot. Even going back to 1871, Tennessee has another wild man, much more satisfactory than the last. Is 7 feet high, covered with shaggy hair. Sounds like a baryone. So now they've seen a Bigfoot in Mississippi. These are coveralls that was worn by a man by the name of James. He hiked about a mile over the mountain in the gold country of the Yukon. At some point, he lost his footing and he fell in the water, and because he had the wetsuit on and these coveralls and his boots, they were filling with water, and he couldn't get to the top. He tried to spring off the bottom, and he started thinking about nobody knew where he was. It'd be days before his wife found out that he was missing, and just as he thought that it'd be just a few seconds more and he'd be dead, something grabbed him by the back of the neck and yanked him out of the water just like a rag doll, threw him up on the bank. When he gathered his senses and opened his eyes, there was this gigantic figure that bent down inches from his face and sniffed him, and then in a few seconds he was gone. A big, hairy creature, just like this. They found this in the woods. Wisconsin.
St. Helens lies a canyon where a series of strange encounters have emerged over the past century. The first of these claims surfaced when a group of 5 seasoned miners headed out to the area on a seemingly routine expedition in search of gold. But what they found instead was something that none of the men could have ever anticipated. It was around midnight when a loud thud awoke the men. Something hit the cabin. Fred saw Hank kicking and screaming and tried to calm him down. Quiet, quiet, be quiet. They heard heavy footsteps traveling through the brush right outside the cabin. Whatever it was huge, and there was more than one. The men readied their rifles, and then it began.
These old recordings where they actually recorded the Bigfoot sounds. This is a bone from a hand. You see how big it is, huge. But this finger bone was DNA tested to show. This finger bone was DNA tested and shown to contain human DNA markers. Look how big it is. Everyone that has come in contact with a Sasquatch, a Yeti, abominable snowman, Bigfoot, they all come up with a drawing or a likeness that are all of them are very similar. This is a Sasquatch weight estimator. If a 6-foot Sasquatch is 350 pounds, then a 7-foot one would be 557, and a 16-foot tall one would be 6,650 pounds. Here is the butt print of a Sasquatch. It's where he sat down in the mud. All right, I want to thank you for joining me here in Cheraw, Georgia, the Sasquatch Museum. If you like this video, be sure to give me a big old thumbs up. Be sure to share this video with your family and friends. And until next time, y'all have a good day.